Hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Vanessa, and in today's video, I want to share with you guys a list of books that contain one of my favorite tropes, if not my favorite tropes. And you've already read the title of the video. It's He Falls First, but He Falls Harder. I absolutely love this trope. I eat it up every single time. It doesn't matter how many books I've read about this trope, I will love it every single time. And if it's done right, stop. If it's done right, it's even better, because then there's no better trope to make you swoon and fall in love with the male character that, oh my god. Okay, I'm not gonna ramble anymore because I could go on and on about the perfection of this trope and why it's the best to ever live, ever exist, but we're not gonna get into that right now. We're just gonna get the list of the books, okay? So the first book that I want to talk about is Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. Now, to be fair, any book by Ali Hazelwood will probably make the cut when it comes to that trope so far. The only book that I don't know for sure is Not in Love, but because I haven't read it. But from what I've heard, I think it follows kind of like the same thing. But my favorite book of Ali Hazelwood that follows that trope is Love Theoretically. Love Theoretically follows Elsie and Jack. Elsie is an adjunct professor. She's a theoretical physicist and she works multiple jobs and hoping to get tenure. But however, those jobs don't pay really well. So in order to supplement her income, she joins this app where she can be a fake girlfriend. And this is a perfect job for Elsie because she is so used to people pleasing that she knows exactly how to mold herself to fit the personality that someone may need. So she is actually a great fake girlfriend. And part of the rule in the app is that you cannot date someone multiple times, so you can only do one date with them. However, Elsie meets this guy and he's very endearing to her, and the reason why he needs a fake girlfriend is also endearing. So she decides to break the rule and date him multiple times, which is when she meets Jack Smith, her fake boyfriend's older brother, and immediately he does not like her. At least it appears to be the case, right? He does not like her. He's very suspicious of her. Something about her relationship to his brother is weird and really bothering him. So, but what makes it even worse is that Elsie finds out that there's a position at MIT which would give her tenure, which would mean she wouldn't have to work all of these jobs, but they're currently interviewing two types of physicists, a theoretical one and an experimental one. Now, part of the department wants a theoretical one, but the head of the department wants an experimental one. And who happens to be the head of the department? The one and only Jack Smith. So they are going to have to figure out whether or not she can get the role, what she has to do to convince him, or at least convince the rest of the department that she can get the role. So it's a beautiful story. I absolutely love how Elsie, through this whole process, meeting Jack, going for this position, getting to know him, is going to figure out how she does not have to rely on people pleasing to get people to like her, that she is enough. But most importantly, the way Jack is down bad for this girl and is like, I am here to just serve you. You do not have to be anything but who you are with me. Like, your wish is my command, and I want the real you, the true you. Like, I loved this book. My favorite Ali Hazelwood so far. So if you have it, pick it up, okay? If you can, pick it up. Now, one thing that I should say is that I'm only gonna have two books that are not on Kindle Unlimited, this one and then the next one. And then after that, I think every single one of the books that I will be recommending are on Kindle Unlimited. So no worries, you won't have to break the bank if you decide to read all of the books in this video. All right, next book. The next book that I have for you guys is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Now, I know if you're anywhere on booktube, booktube, book talk, you have heard of Abby Jimenez and you know that everybody loves all her books. I don't think I've heard one person say anything bad about Abby Jimenez books. So you know you're in for a great time. But on top of it, for this book, we are following Daniel and Alexis. Now, Daniel, why am I saying it like the girl version? Is it Daniel? Dan? Let's just say Dan, because I don't think I'm pronouncing this correctly. We're following Dan and Alexis. Alexis is a ER doctor. She comes from a long line of doctors who've worked at the same hospital. They are super wealthy, super famous. She's a legacy baby, okay? And they have a lot of requirements for her. They have a lot of dreams for her, and she has to uphold those dreams. Now, she meets Dan by accident when her car is stuck in a ditch and he pulls her out, and then she ends up going to that town where the town over to get something to eat while she heads back on the road, and they reconnect again and they have an amazing time together. Very early on, Alexis knows this cannot work. First of all, he lives in a small town. She lives in the city. He's 10 years younger than her. Her parents would never approve of someone like him. So she knows it cannot work. But Dan is so enamored by her the minute he meets her. The minute he meets her, he's like, there's something special about this woman, and I will take anything. I will take crumbs. So he keeps trying to do stuff to make her realize that even though they are worlds apart, they are meant for each other, and he could make it work. Like, he's gonna try anything to make it work. This book is so amazing and beautiful. I cried at the end of the book. This book has one of the most heartbreaking scenes to me because it's so true. Like, there is no miscommunication trope in this one. Oh, maybe, I don't know, but it's not bad. I don't think it's done bad. As you already know, there's usually some kind of conflict. The conflict in this book, the way it was handled, the way Abby Jimenez chose to wrote it, and the steps while the conflict is being resolved, oh my God. But Dan is just a perfect book boyfriend. The way he remembers anything about her, the way he just made sure to give her the best experience, the best time at all times when she would come and visit. I just love this book. Special place in my heart for this book. So I think it's worth your time. This is, out of every book on this list, there's probably gonna be 3 that are my top 3 books, and this is one of the top 3. So definitely, yes, it's not on Kindle Unlimited. Yours truly is, but this one is not. But please do yourself a favor if you haven't read this already and go pick it up. Okay. So the next book in this list is The Deal by Elle Kennedy. Now, in this book, we follow Hannah and Garrett Graham. Hannah is a very smart student. She does well in school. And everything else, she pretty much has a handle in her life. The only place where she struggles is finding someone that she can connect with emotionally and physically because of the baggages that she has from past experience in her life. So she finally notices a guy in one of her classes that she's actually interested in. Then that's very rare for her because of her past. So she's determined to get his attention, but she does not know how until Garrett Graham swoops in and offers his help. But the only reason he's offering to help is because he loves to play hockey. Hockey is his life. That's all he wants to do, and he wants to go pro. But his grades right now are threatening him, and he might not make it, might not graduate, might not make it. So when he fails one of his classes and notices that Hannah actually got an A in the class, he tries to convince her to tutor him so that he can get his grade up, and then in return he will help her get the attention of that boy that she's been crushing on. Except that as the tutoring goes on and he's tutoring her in the ways of love and seduction, he starts to fall for her, and now he has one more thing added to his list other than becoming a pro hockey player. It's to make sure that Hannah falls for him and she stops looking at that other guy. I also adored this one. It was a cute one. It's not anything groundbreaking, but definitely heartwarming. Graham falling for her and the way he did, and the way he had to put his heart out there to convince her to, you know, give him a chance, because also he also has a reputation. He's super cocky, arrogant, so she was not giving him the time of day. And the way he had to grovel, not grovel, but definitely work at winning her heart. It was beautiful. Love this book. It is on Kindle Unlimited, so you can definitely just start reading that one immediately if you have your membership. This is a good one. I enjoyed it. So, and it'll also get you started into the off-campus series, and if you like it, you can continue the series. But I haven't continued yet, so I can't vouch for the other books, but this one is definitely a good one. So go for it. The next book in this series of books that I want to recommend is Twisted Lies by Anna Huang. Now, this book, I really enjoyed it, but I have to admit that it was kind of like the world that Anna Huang built in this book was kind of unexpected to me, because it kind of have some kind of thriller element to it, but it worked well. It worked really well in this book. I adored this book. Christian Harper. If you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say. The man. Okay, so in this book, we're following Christian and Stella. Christian is a businessman. He has a tech company, and he's super rich, a billionaire, and he has no use for morals or love. He does not care about love or morals. However, there's one person who has grabbed his attention, and he has been following her life, I guess, since the minute he met her. He cannot get her out of his mind, and that is Stella. And he does not know why he's intrigued by her, but he just wants to get to know her and get closer. And the opportunity arises, and he takes his chance. So she is now living in the apartment below him in his apartment building that he owns, obviously, because as one should if you're a billionaire. And Stella is a social media influencer, and there's a thread that is currently going on in her life that Christian can be helpful with, but also there's another reason that why she needs Christian's help. She is a social media, like I said, influencer, and her following is not growing as much as she should, and she really needs her following to grow in order for her to secure this deal. So she realizes that she needs a man, a husband, because apparently, you know, in our sexist world, that accounts grow faster when it looks like the woman is in love or she has a partner, because, you know, people are interested in couple goals, you know, stuff like that. So she needs a boyfriend, and Christian, for whatever reason, which makes no sense to anyone, swoops in to help her. Love this book. Love this book. Watching a man who, I think also one of my favorite trope is, I don't like anyone else in the world except for you. Christian Harper, people. Christian Harper, okay? He definitely came in and swooped in, definitely tried to help her, but also validated some of the feelings that she's had. She's had different feelings about how she wants to be loved, how she wants to be cared for, the goals that she has in her life, and he was there for her and definitely helped her throughout the entire process. And the groveling this man had to do, because again, this is Twisted Lies, so there are lies that are gonna be uncovered, and when they are, things will be, there'll have to be a lot of repairs that need to be done. And the groveling, yes, 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 yes. So pick this one up, also on Kindle Unlimited. A good one. Okay, I believe. So the next book that I want to talk to you about is a little bit different. It is a single mom romance. It tells the story of Hadley and Elijah. So it is 1% of You by Michelle Gross. Now, Hadley is a single mom. she is in a pretty bad situation. She has a little girl already. Her name is Lucy, and she is also currently pregnant. She is on assisted government aid, I believe that's how you say it, and that she's in school to be a nurse, but while she's in school, she's getting help by the government. She lives in one of the kind of run down apartments, and she's really prideful because of, you will learn why she ended up becoming a single mom, and she's also a very young single mom. I believe she's 20 years old or 21 years old when the story is going on. So to already have a daughter and be pregnant, it does not look well, and she's very aware of it, and she's overwhelmed by her life, but she's determined to make it and not be a statistic. So she's biding her time and she's focusing on school. Now this is when she meets this man. They don't meet, they have an encounter at the grocery store when Elijah steals a bag of snack from Lucy, the little girl. And then instead of being sorry about it when he's confronted by the situation, he doubles down on it. And then so when they go home, obviously by that time Hadley is completely turned off, and Elijah also looks at her and is not impressed because he's like, she looks a hot mess, like her hair is not put together, she's so young with already 2 kids. He's already making up a whole bunch of scenarios about who she is, her character, why she's in that position. So that exchange between them is definitely not a good one. And then when she gets home to her apartment and she's taking out her groceries with Lucy, she realizes that Elijah is living in the house across from the apartment. So they are basically neighbors. And let me tell you, she's not happy about it, and he's not happy about it also. But as time goes on and they keep seeing each other across from the parking lot, and Lucy, bless her soul, this little girl, I absolutely loved her in this book, keeps making their encounter even more and more awkward, but also giving them room to get to know each other. Elijah starts to fall for her, and he starts to fall for them as a family. He probably falls for Lucy first, to be honest, and then falls for Hadley. And the way he invites himself into their lives and decides that I'm going to come into your life, but I'm going to make it better. I'm not here to take away from your life. I understand that your kids are your priority. I understand that you have goals. I just want to make it better. And if by making it better is that I have to come in and fix some stuff for you, I have to help you get to work when your car breaks down, I have to like buy you groceries because I know that it's tough for you right now. The things that he did, acts of service, if acts of service is your love language, this is the book for you. This is the book for you. It was so beautiful, so heartwarming. I absolutely love this book. Pick it up. Okay, so the next book I want to recommend, and I'm so surprised that I'm recommending this book because it is considered, I guess, a bully romance, and I would never even pick up a bully romance because that's not my personality. I don't see how you can fall for someone who used to bully you, but this one, it works. It works. It's Against a Wall by Kate C. Wells, and it's part of the A Stone Cut County romance. Now, you can read the first book, but you don't have to. You can go straight into this book and then read the first book later on if you want to. It's fine. There is a thread in the story, but the thread in the story is like a background story to facilitate the characters getting together. You do not need to read the first book. You can go back later for it if you want to. But it's Against a Wall, like I said. And this book follows Cash and Glenda. So we have Cash Wall and Glenda Dobbs have gone to high school together, and in high school, Cash used to torment her. Now, the thing about this, even though it's considered bullying, I don't even know if you could call it mild bullying. I think that's probably why I could stomach it. It wasn't one of those like actively like hurting or really bad like words being said. It more was like teasing. So I don't even know if it can be considered a bully romance, but it was a lot of teasing. He just made himself like always was in Glenda's way, having these little, you know, teasing comments and really kind of annoying her. And she always kind of ignored him and tried to not pay attention attention to him, and the more she ignored him, the more he doubled down. But then now they're adults, and Glinda has gotten herself in a really tough situation. She's become the town pariah, I guess you should say, and she has a scarlet A on herself. People do not like her, and it's actually getting to the point that things are escalating and could become dangerous. So Cash offers himself to be, she used to be in a relationship, she's not anymore, so Cash offers himself as her fake boyfriend, and basically saying that because he's one of the walls and very well liked in the town, that no one would dare do anything to her if they knew that she was his girlfriend. And because of her current situation, she agrees to it. The only thing that she does not know is that Cash has been pining after her for years, and the only way the reason he's teasing her is because he wants to get her attention. But then now that she's his girlfriend, he's decided, I'm not letting you go. So she thinks she's in this fake relationship, and then when things die down, she's gonna be able to like break it off and move on. And he's like, no, baby girl, you're not going anywhere. And it's so good. It's so good to understand where Cash was coming from, his emotions. Although like it can be infuriating that this is how he chose to make his feelings known, but you kind of feel for him. And as things progress and you see him and how he's taking care of her and how he's loving on her, it ended up being so beautiful. I love this story. If you have been interested in bully romance but you couldn't get yourself into it, this is a good way to dip your toes. I don't know if you need to go further. I haven't gone any further. I haven't read anything else, but this was a good intro to this genre. It works. I really enjoyed it. Against a Wall by Kate C. Wells, guys. So the next book that I want to recommend is Only for the Weak by Natasha Bishop. Now, this book takes place over a week period, and it's quite interesting. So Janelle's sister is getting married, and Janelle is the maid of honor. The only problem with this is that the groom happens to be Janelle's ex-boyfriend. Okay, messy. And on top of that, while they're on this vacation and things, well, not on vacation, so they went to Tulum for the wedding, and but they went there a week early. So while they're there and getting ready for the wedding, the best man ends up making it known that he's interested in Janelle and he'd like to try something with her for the week. Now, Janelle is torn because she's like, this is already very messy. If people find out that I'm actually entertaining you and me and you are sleeping together, they're going to think that I'm doing it solely for the purpose of getting back at my sister or getting back at my ex for marrying my sister. So she's on the fence, and then eventually they agree, but only like she wants it to be only for the week and as a secret, because she doesn't want people to think that it's because she feels sorry for herself that she's doing this. But what she does not know is that Rome, which is the male protagonist in this situation, has also been pining after her for years, and he is determined to make sure that this week becomes the rest of their life. Oh my god, so good, so messy, so juicy. This is like watching reality TV show, even better than this. It's like I was intrigued by the romance, definitely by the romance. Oh, again, the way he paid attention to her, the way he got to know her even more, and the things that he did to ensure that, because this was such a stressful week for her, that she got the time to relax and got the time to take time for herself. The way he encouraged her, the way he made sure that she started standing up for herself. This man was everything. But the tea also in this book was everything. I was eating it up. I could not put it down. I wanted to find out like what was going to happen. It was so good. It was so juicy. So if you're looking for like acts of service, falls first, been pining after you, but also some good drama, Only for the Week by Natasha Bishop. Pick it up. Also on Kindle Unlimited. Okay. I'm gonna stop saying that, but maybe I shouldn't, just because I just think I need to let you guys know that all these books are available for you guys to read right away. Oh, the next book I want to recommend is Always Only You by Chloe Leese. Now, this book follows Rand and Frankie. Ren is a hockey player, and he's like a one of those big fluffy guys that are massive but like wear his heart on his sleeve. He's like interested in Shakespeare. He is like a complete sweetheart, and he has been pining after Frankie, the social media manager for the team, for the longest. But there's a policy on staff that I think there's a policy, or maybe not, because there was a policy, maybe he just wanted to make sure that he did it right, that he didn't want to date Frankie or make it known how he feels about her while like she was still working for the team. So he was like waiting for his time. And then Frankie is, again, loves the whole team. She's autistic, so there is autism representation in this book. So if this is something you're interested in, also definitely pick it up. I do think it does a great job. I'm not autistic, and I do not have any autistic people in my life, but I've read the comments and people said that the representation was done really well in this book. So if you're interested, I think you should pick it up. Frankie is a social media manager, but she is currently about to leave the position because she is going on to doing other stuff. She's going on to pursue a new career. So when Ren finds out that Frankie is about to leave the team, it is now like his sole purpose to get her to, you know, give him a chance and give him a shot. I don't want to say anything else. It's such a beautiful story to realize how difficult it can be for people with autism or on the spectrum to let themselves be loved, but be loved the way they want to be loved. Oftentimes people make assumptions for them and then kind of like project their own insecurities, ideas, you know, thoughts on them of how they should behave, what the world expects of them. And it is important for people that are coming into their lives to understand that they are not weak and, you know, unable to take care of themselves. If you're gonna come into their life, you need to add to it, but also respect their boundaries. So it was so beautiful to see how Ren was determined to love her, even when she was asking. Oh, also the other thing is that sometimes also because of the way the world has treated them in the past, they may be asking to be loved in a way that is not healthy. And it was so beautiful to see how Ren came in and was like, no, I'm going to love you, but I'm not just going to love you conditionally. I am going to love you unconditionally. So beautiful. I love this story. I don't know if I'm doing it justice, to be honest, the way I'm talking about it. But what I would say is that it is part of a series. It is part of the Bergman Brothers series. It is the second book. You don't need to read the first book in order to enjoy this one. I'd say give it a go. Read the back of the book. And if it's interesting to you guys, please pick it up because it's such a beautiful and moving story. I thoroughly enjoyed it. That is Always Only You by Chloe Leese. Okay. All right, so the next book I want to recommend is The Fake Out by Stephanie Archer. Now, this book follows Hazel and Rory. Hazel is one of the physical therapists for the hockey team on which Rory is playing, and she finds out that her ex-boyfriend, which the relationship ended so bad, so poorly, he treated her horribly, is gonna become one of the players on the team. And she is determined to get back at him, and the only way that she can think about it, I don't think that's the only way she can think about it, but the way it ended up working out, fake dating Rory ended up being the solution on how to get back at him. It's a little bit convoluted how it all happened, but it happened for the best of reasons. Now, Rory has known Hazel since they were in high school together, which he actually used to tutor her, and he has had a thing for her. Like, he's always flirting with her, teasing her, and she's always so dismissive, like, I'm not gonna give you the time of day. I've dated a hockey player before and it ended so horribly. I will never put my heart on the line again, and especially not with a hockey player. And so when they decide to fake date to make her ex jealous, he is like, okay, I have her now at the palm of my hands and I am not going to let her go. Do you guys see a thread here? Do I need to get checked out? Do I need to go figure it out? Like talk to a therapist about this, because I'm seeing a pattern of, now that I have you, I'm not letting you go. Anyways, so good. So good. The way this man had no qualms about spending money on this girl, the way their chemistry, the banter in this book was so good. Oh my God, the way that they could give it and take it and give it and take it both ways. Oh, okay, that's another thing. This book, compared to the other book, is probably the spiciest book that I will recommend in this one. There are some other books that are spicy. I will say Twisted Lies is quite spicy. Let me see what else. The Deal also, they all have some spicy scene. I don't think there's any closed door books out of all the ones that I've just recommended, and I'm gonna continue recommending. But this one is probably the spiciest. So, but I think the spice was done well on this one. So I am not against it. I think it was a good time. Worry is such a clown, such a golden retriever. A lot of the men in these books that I'm recommending are golden retriever style. So probably Christian Harper is the only one that is kind of like the grumpy one. But so if golden retriever is also your style and you love this, these books will provide for you guys. We'll make sure that you enjoy. So yes, I absolutely enjoyed this book. One of the best ones on the list. Probably number 4, if I should say, for me on the list. Really tied with part of Your World. I really enjoyed this one. Pick it up, also on Kindle Unlimited. The next book that I'm going to recommend is, I mean, if you spend 10 seconds on my page, you know, on this channel, you know, it's Reckless by Elsie Silver. This book follows Theo Silva and Winter Hamilton. Now, this is, oh, I forgot to say, the Fake Out is part of an interconnected series. It is the second book. You don't have to read the first book. It's fine to go with the second book. I actually DNF'd the first book. I may go back to it. Maybe it was a soft DNF, but you know, yeah, so you don't have to worry about that. Reckless is part of an interconnected series, however, and it is the 4th book in the connected series. So I do recommend reading all the books, not because you can't jump into this one, but I do feel like it's better when you do. However, if you really don't want to be bothered, you're looking for a specific trope and this is what you were looking for, you can go ahead and jump into this. I think Elsie Silver did a really good job at making this story contained within itself, so you can do it. But I think, if anything, if you must read a book before, it'll probably be the first book. It's flawless, and that's only because the female character in the first book is Winter's sister, so it'll give you some background stories about why people feel the way that they feel about Winter, because this follows Winter, and as her name suggests, she is very cold, very calculating. She thinks with her head first, not her heart, and she does not have the best relationship with her family, including her sister, which is Summer, as her name suggests, which is warm and everything glowy in love. And then we have Theo, which is a bull rider, and he is rambunctious. He's a golden retriever. He's here to make all the jokes, make people laugh, and this is what he thrives on. So as you can tell, they are very different. So they are not a likely pair to match. However, when Theo meets her, they have a connection immediately, and they end up having one night together, and then one night is going to change their lives. The way Theo is down bad for Winter, despite what everyone else says about her. Everyone sees her as this cold ice queen and that no one can approach, and he sees beneath all of this, the layers that she's built up to survive her current life and her situation, and the way he's like determined to, you know, stand up for her, and it really shows her that I don't need you to change. I think that was the most amazing thing about Theo in this book, is that nowhere in this book was he like, oh, okay, everybody is saying you're very cold and this and that, like I'm gonna teach you how to be warmer and be this. No, it was like, I like you just the way you are. I'm not asking for anything else. I'm not asking you to change. Who you are is what I am in love with, that I want, and I am going to fight tooth and nail to make sure that you can see yourself as someone that can be with me. Like, I don't need you to change, but I need you to see that the way you think that we're an unlikely match, we are not. Like, we're perfect for each other. This book is my favorite in the series. I've settled on it. Heartless is definitely up there also, but this was like a 5-star for me. I think about Theo and Winter all the time. I think about that kind of love all the time, the kind of love that's like, not only I've been pining for you, after you for years, but then also I'm not afraid of who you are and I don't need you to change. He's like another Jack. Love, 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 love him. Mwah! Again, I always have to kiss this book because that's how much I love it. Okay, bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Okay. Also on Kindle Unlimited though. Even though I have a copy, it is on Kindle Unlimited, so you can definitely read it and purchase a trophy later on. And then the final book that I'm going to recommend, the reason why I did this video to start with, because it gave me the idea. I started noticing a pattern. I was like, I have so many books that have this kind of trope, and every single time it hits. And I was like, I need to do a video about this because there might be other people like me who are looking for recommendations. Also, if you do have recommendations that are not mentioned in this video, please leave them in the comment below. I love this trope, like I said, so I'll read anything. So please give me some recommendations so I can continue to build up my collection of books that fulfill this trope. Again, last book on this list is Play Along by Liz Tomforde, or Liz Tomfordy. I don't know how to pronounce her name. However, she is the queen of queens. That woman can do no wrong, and I probably should learn her name, because should I ever meet her, like, I don't even know. This woman at this point could write about anything and I would read it, because I do not know how you can do this. Play Along is the 4th book in the series, and for every other book that I've mentioned, I've said that they're interconnected series, so you don't have to read the other books. The Chestnut Spring series and the Windy City series that Play Along is a part of are probably the only ones that you don't have to read the other books. But please, guys, do yourself a favor and read all the books, because they are all so good. You are going to enjoy yourself. You are going to have a great time. You're never going to want to come back to this regular ass like world, please. And I know a lot of people don't like Mile High. I enjoyed it. I had no issues. It was a 4-star for me. But if you don't like Mile High and you're thinking about, oh, this series is not for me, no, please keep moving, because the 2nd book in the series, The Right Move, Ryan Shea, I can't. I didn't think anyone could top Ryan Shea until Liz Tomforde wrote Isaiah Rhodes, and yeah, okay. So anyways, let me get back to the story. So we're following Kennedy. She's a doctor on the team. She does sports medicine, and it feels very similar to, I guess, physical therapy, but there's more to it. And she's been with the team for about 3 years now. But for the longest time that she's been on the team, since she started on the team, she's been engaged. So Isaiah, who met her when she started on the team and has been pining after her the entire time, was being very respectful. So he would flirt with her, but in a respectful way, because she was engaged. Until about 8 months ago, baby girl showed up to the stadium with no ring on. Okay? So Isaiah's like, here's my chance. Here is my chance. She has no ring on. Her engagement ended for whatever reason, and I am going to find my way to get her to pay attention to me. The only problem is Isaiah is, again, the same type of guy that I've been describing before. He's the jokester, clown, class clown, I mean. And he also was a player before, had a string of women, until, of course, he finds out that Kennedy is available, but Kennedy does not know that. So she is not going to give him any time of day. So for about 8 months, she is just like not paying attention to him. She's, you know, all his attempt to get her attention, she's been ignoring him until something happened one drunken night. They get married in Vegas, and now they have to stay married if Kennedy is going to be able to keep her job, and she has to, for a reason that you will learn as you read the book. And it's the same story, that now that he has her as a fake wife, not even a fake wife, because they're legitimately married, but like now that he has her and he knows that time is limited because they've agreed to stay married for a period of time and then they will get a divorce, he is determined to do whatever he needs to do to make sure that they remain married, or at least like she decides to give him a chance and date him for real. This man, I don't know. I don't know. Like, again, written by a woman. The only possibility, the only explanation for how perfect this man was. He was such a, I think that's the thing I love so much about Liz Mumford, the way she writes grown men who are like, yes, we like joke around, and yes, we flirt and we're shameless about it, but the way they pay attention to details, the way they like are here to defend you, stand up for you, the way that they remember every single thing about you. Like, you could have mentioned this like 5 years ago and they're still going to remember it. This man memorized her hair color. If you know, you know how special it was. I know it doesn't sound like a big deal right now, but when you read the book and you realize that this man memorized her hair color, okay, all right, that's all I have to say. So good. 5 stars, 6 stars. Like, at this point, the bar is Isaiah Rhodes. Like, the bar is Isaiah Rhodes. Like, there's no one that can compare. This book put me in a romance book slump. I can't even pick up a romance book anymore. I'm now reading fantasies because no one compares. If you're gonna read one book out of all the books that I've mentioned, let it be Play Along. Let it be Play Along. Let it be the Windy City series. Please pick this up. It's on Kindle Unlimited. You have no excuse. I will fight you if you've come all this far in this video and you've watched all of this and you don't pick up this book. Okay? When you're done, come back and leave me in a comment. Let me know what you thought about this book. And if you've already read this book, please help me bully everyone into reading this book. Let them know in the comment how good it is and they need to read it. Okay, so that's all I had for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, if you guys have any other recommendations with the same vibe, the same style, please leave them in the comments for me, because that's my bread and butter. I'm looking for more books like this. I love you guys. If you like this video and if you want to see me do recommendations about other tropes that you like, please let me know also in the comments and I will compile a list for you guys. Please subscribe, like, and share, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.